Today we need to get into a picture that is very cute of Jung Kook with pouty lips. We need to get into a video posted by RedBull on their Instagram giving Jung Kook a Red Bull and what that was about. And then we have sales at a record low for JHope's new album. So hey Dumplings, is Dave Desai, hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Make sure you join us fangirling on Patreon, and let's go. Now, JHope recently released a new album, and a lot of people were angry at the release of this album. To be quite fair, this was definitely not the best time to release an album, but he did it anyway, and we need to talk about why it's not the best time to release an album. Now, if you are not aware, there's a protest going on with the label, and everyone has stepped up their efforts in trying to protest the label, that they have protested to not buy anything from BTS or anything related to the label. Or so you thought, because a lot of people were seeing that sales were going up as normal. And so a lot of people were wondering, all this protest is actually not even doing anything because every single artist on the label seems to be hitting a record high in sales. However, when JHope's album came out, it was reported to be one of the lowest sales ever. I want to clarify, when I say record low, I don't mean record low in general, because you can literally have zero sales. I'm sure there are artists that have put out songs that haven't sold any albums, but I mean record low by saying that it's low for his standard. So if you compare the current album to the last album that he released, there was a difference of about 70,000 album sales. So people were saying that this is very low for him and that he should have sold more. And then others were saying that while this protest was going on and it was supposed to help reduce the sales of the album, which was the whole point, other artists have been selling millions within their first day. So is the protest actually working? The answer is probably not. Now, there's many reasons why an album wouldn't sell as much, and the most obvious one is that he is not in the public eye right now to be selling albums. He didn't really do a full rollout, and a lot of the stuff that artists like to do to get hype for an album release, he is obviously unable to do so. Artists like to do things before an album release to drum up attention. That could either be a big publicity stunt, that could either be releasing something on social media, it going viral, and then following that up with an album and all that stuff. He was unable to do. That he even just sold less than 70,000 compared to his other album is definitely a miracle, because without even promotion, he was selling practically the same amount. And 70,000 less than what he normally sold is still nothing compared to how much he sells normally. If the protest actually worked and people actually believed it was for a good reason, he would have not just sold 70,000 less, he would have sold hundreds of thousands of less. In fact, his sales, if the protests were to work, should be near zero or even just like 1,000. But the fact that it's still a record number for a lot of people, like there's still like the upcoming artists and even established artists that don't even get this amount of sales ever. So it just goes to show you that this is not actually working, and a lot of people actually don't believe in this protest. A lot of people have come out recently to say that they actually don't care about the protest at all, and they wish that people would stop doing that because it seems to be a protest just against the BTS members and not against any other artists under the label. And if you check other artists such as Ariana Grande or whatever other artists that are under the American division of Hive, you'd quickly see their community isn't protesting. Right now, the biggest scandal that Ariana Grande is under right now is the whole home wrecking thing, and that's nothing to do with the whole Zionism in Israel thing. So no one else is protesting these American artists. It's only the BTS community that is protesting their own artist. On a much happier note, we have seen some cute photos surface, and people are very excited to see these moments resurface, as it's nice to see something less serious on a feed, and things that made us love the BTS members to begin with. Give us a little reminder of why we love them. There was this photo of Jung Kook making a pouty kissy face in a photo. People have always loved these types of photos, and people get very excited when he used to post these types of selfies. And I don't know exactly what people get out of these photos aside from it just being like a cute person, because I don't know how people look at a cute photo. But like, I'll look at a cute person's photo and just be like, oh, that person's really cute maybe. Then maybe just look at it for a minute, but like I don't ever like go back to it. I kind of just move on from there. So I don't know how people look at selfies, and if it's just like they make it their background or they print it out and post it on a wall or they stare at it for like an hour, I don't exactly know. But clearly his face and his selfie have a very visceral and emotional reaction when people look at it. People love these moments because it feels like Jung Kook is sending a kiss to everyone. And I guess you can assume it means that. And then in other situations, it probably is just something that he thought was kind of fun to do. So doing a pouty face or a duck face or whatever it is in a photo, it's just something that people do. And I've seen myself instinctually just do it when I feel awkward and have no other thing to do. It's kind of like peace hands, because what else is there to do? You don't really know how to pose, so you just kind of do that and hope that the picture turns out good. In other cases, there are situations in which you might want your lips to look a bit fuller, so you take a selfie like that and emphasize the lips to hopefully make it look fuller. But either way, I love these selfies, and I hope that when Jungkook leaves the military, he will decide to do more of these selfies and do more videos and those sorts of things. People have been begging him to go live, and even just go live for a minute while he's in the military. I've seen comments literally asking and demanding Jungkook to just go in his closet of the bunker or something, and then just go live for a minute. And to be honest, I don't know if there's a closet in his bunker, but I could be entirely wrong. Of course, it's always fun to see people talk about this and freak out. It's almost like a meme. Like, I know when Jungkook posts a selfie that I can expect people to make jokes on Twitter that they're going to faint or pass out. So it's always a very fun moment when that drops and people have such an amazing reaction to it. Other moments that have been popping up recently were moments where RedBull actually posted something on their Instagram. So if you don't know what happened, this recently resurfaced again. Not too long ago, the BTS members were in Malta. Now, this is their reality show called Bon Voyage, and the point of this reality show is that the boys all come together and they travel all around the world in different locations. So they've done New Zealand, I believe Malta, and various other places, which, by the way, I've reacted to a bunch of these videos and episodes over on Patreon. If you're interested in checking that out and joining me as I watch it, then make sure you check out Patreon. I'll leave a link at the top of the description. And we have a great time fangirling and having fun over there. So I hope to see you there. There's a lot of cute moments where the members interact and have fun, and one moment or thing that they like to do in Bon Voyage is at some points during the trip, they like to kind of split up and they will have people cut back and forth from each of the members. So you know how like on TV shows, they'll have moments where there's like one storyline and then it cuts to another storyline, and at the end, both storylines kind of come together. Well, that is the case here. They try to have various different members split up and do different things. So there's various different things that they can cut to. In one episode, they decided to split up V and Jungkook, and they decided to do a bunch of different things. Randomly, they encountered, I think, a Red Bull truck, and Red Bull was giving away free Red Bulls. This was part of their PR, and it's a great PR thing. It definitely drums up a lot of publicity for the community. And Jungkook and their team went up and decided to grab a few Red Bulls. The Red Bull team was very happy to chat with both of them and ask where they're from and all that stuff, and both of them seemed very excited to have gotten a free drink. Now, this pretty harmless and cute clip doesn't really mean anything, and there's nothing really to it. However, there were a lot of people that were taking this clip and saying that, oh, look, a big company and a big company's PR team went ahead and posted this dating clip of the two members dating. Since there's already rumors that the two are dating, this was like confirmation for that group or community that believes the two are dating. The funny thing is, you can take these moments without context and it can make it look like however you want it to look like. And that's what a lot of people in the community like to do, is that they like to kind of take things out of context to fit their own narrative, which is kind of frustrating and very interesting all at the same time. I think for this situation, it is important to have context, as it wasn't just those two that were split up and had to spend time alone together. We've also had times where Jimin and Jungkook spent time together. We've had times where other members have split up and spent time together. So they have done pretty much every combination of splitting up and spending time with each other that you can think of. Also, keep in mind that if you do see one member always with another member, doesn't mean anything romantic. It just means that they prefer to spend time together. I know that can be kind of an odd concept to understand, especially if you don't have a big group of friends. I don't really have a big group of friends. My social life is usually consists of one-on-one time. However, when you're in a group of friends, you might love every single member of the group, but you might not love them all the same. Like, you might not necessarily get along with each of the members perfectly, if that makes sense. Like, you'll love them and support them and all the things that you do with friends, but there are going to be people or members of the group that you share better interest with. So let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks. Just love the comment right here. Love you. Bye.